Welcome on back, everyone, to Total War Warhammer 3 in part 13 of our Mother Ostankya Immortal Empires campaign. Going to be a little bit of a different beginning to this one after the battle here, as I, like a professional, forgot to turn on my microphone, and so there's a whole series of just gameplay but no talking. Since this is a legendary campaign, there was no going back once we had started, so what I'm going to do is just let the campaign play without any kind of dialogue here in a moment. But I will make sure to cut through where I'm just kind of dawdling around with my mouse where I would normally be having a discussion about something, so we'll be doing what we can to cut that all out. What we are here for in this episode is Urkulisk has landed with his sleds and bats for an invasion of the Ziggurat of Dawn. The defenders are few, but I really wanted to see how our war sleds looked in battle, and they look awesome. We've got the bear sleds charging on in now. They've got riflemen in the back, so it's a bunch of Streltsy. They've got, looks like 5 guys total. A bunch of spears too, but they don't ever actually use those. But we've got the ice sleds charging on forward. Actually would love a little bit of a change, how they, you know how they've got this ice magic that is allowing them to move. It'd be great if maybe you switch one of these models in here for an ice witch. That way it makes sense that they're actually able to use this enchanted ice. Either way, we've got some magic going down for our Lorvag witch, as she smashes through the enemy line. And here come the bear sleds. In the woods, they've already smashed in, but it's much harder to see the combat over there, so we'll just hang out with this group of bears. Onward to glory. And as you can expect from gigantic sleds being pulled by polar bears, these poor skinks get crushed underfoot quite easily. And then the riflemen get to work from there. The bats are filing behind them as our ice witches rip apart the skinks before our bats descend. This is a very, very fast battle. But one I had a good deal of fun fighting. Things in the woods I've charged on through, terrifying off our Source Warriors. Mixture of frostbite and discouraged. Broken bones are gonna do that to you. And like that, the enemy flee for the hills. We've got a few skinks and Source to round up just to add a little bit of insult to injury. Oh, we actually have one more unit of javelins hiding in the woods. Not for long.
Their loss is Kislev's gain.
They do not remember me at the
Ours is the side of truth. Perhaps you are no heretic.
We are one people.
Drużyna.
I am Kostaltyn.
And I am back. Thankfully, I caught the microphone issue before we got too much further in along here. Only thing is that since this is a legendary campaign, I decided to keep everything on in, so hopefully that was at least a little enjoyable short catch up on what happened there. So what we have going on now is the siege of Castle Alexandrinov, but because we don't really have a chance in Hades of defending this settlement, we are going to absolutely just let them have it. We could use plenty of our Agony Succession and probably just watch them wither away on the way over, but if that doesn't work, then we've used a lot of our actual tools, and we have no way to come back over here and actually deal with World Walkers, and they'll just replenish up from there, so it would be an absolute waste of our resources. We'll just allow Alexandrinov to fall, sadly. We'll be back. We will remember this loss. Meanwhile, Kostaltyn has been discovered. Oh, we didn't get to ambush. I mean, they did move on in like fools. He's bringing with him a couple war mammoths, a couple feral mammoths, So it's going to be trying to have our heavy war sleds pull them away from the fighting. That way they can chase them around and get shot up with our rifles. Should be a lot of fun. Kostaltyn versus Stig the Wallbreaker. This is like those anime fights where he runs into the big boss on the other side, not realizing that you were not protagonist, sir. Let it begin. And Kostaltyn may have joined forces with Ostankya, but he shall fight only using the power of the Father Bear himself. Riding on into battle on his gigantic bear. Let's see what we can do. Some pretty dangerous foes across the field from us, so it definitely would have been very useful for us to have a little bit of blessings and curses across, but let's see how strong our heavy war sleds are. We've got 4 mammoths to take down, a couple of heroes, and trolls as well. Little Grom already blasting apart the front group of skirmish cavalry. Let's get on here and listen to the roar of the Little Grom. Allowing them to pick their own targets to start. Anything they hit is going to take a severe amount of damage. Our battle strategy is Streltsy hanging out in front of our 4 Little Grom units, while 2 more hide over in the shadows with some things in the woods behind them, with our double Patriarch and I Switch being the hero core, hoping to keep them good and safe. Meanwhile, Kostaltyn is rolling with our heavy sleds to just get as much rifle fire in on these war mammoths as we can. We've got quite a bit of armor, and at least the war ones have a lot of armor and missile resist, but we definitely need to drag them down before they hit our lines. So continuing to move to their flanks, just get as much damage in as we can. As they all move into the woods to try to reorganize their strategies there. Getting blasted apart by little Grom shots. Well, if you get hit by a cannonball, there won't be much left. Fleeing from Kostaltyn while chucking javelins. Takes a bit of damage, but Kostaltyn himself will regenerate, and we have the St. Anushka's finger bone to give him even further heals. The enemy Skin Wolf is going to attempt to take down our legendary Patriarch. See if he has what it takes. Meanwhile, our sleds are holding up front, being good and annoying. Everyone's allergic to rifle fire. Pokemon continues to blast apart these surviving champions. Maybe Marauder champions, but Chaos has forsaken. They're just gonna let that happen, I guess? They're kinda like a doof. Kostaltyn and the evil Skin Wolf will continue to throw down, but we need to take a look as the mammoths are now in range of our rifles. They're taking quite a few hits from the Little Grom, which is no fun. Streltsy turned the first mammoth away. There's a couple more Little Grom shots blast off the side. Another mammoth though getting in there with some rocket boots. While our sleds do the best they can to keep this other one that has been distracted busy. You better run, lads. If that mammoth catches you, it's going to be a bad day for everyone. Have them good and caught in a beautiful shooting gallery, though. And crashes into Kostaltyn. Not a good time. Even the Supreme Patriarch and his bear don't necessarily want to go toe-to-toe with a mammoth. As that one has definitely caught our sleds up on top, but the things in the woods are going to scream on out and try to terrify off who is left. These champions shouldn't last long after being hit by the Discouraged effect. Same thing with the Feral Mammoth. As the white flag goes up across the board, and Norskins are shattered. And poor old Stig gets his back broken instead. Only 7 fall in the fighting, which is very fair. We lost one of our heavy war sleds, which is quite sad, but they replenish very quickly, especially when we only lose the single one, so not bad at all. We will go ahead and take the extra gold there since we have the pretty aggressive deficit at the moment.
Faithless, but worthless.
When you went and failed, wasn't able to, or at least I didn't remember to disengage her hero action before our turn ended there, so we almost went into the bankruptcy if I hadn't went ahead and disbanded some of the buildings we did. The Ancestral Throng actually is gone. Really. Because they started up too many wars they couldn't handle all at once. Casimira the Hag Witch has been wounded. We've lost a few extra of our settlements there. That's alright. Nestor is now on a warhorse, and so is Casimir. And Wolfenburg is now besieged there in Ostland. Candidates for the membership of Ice Court must be sought and instructed on its myriad customs, and rights of its next generation of Ice Maidens and Witches is to rise. Indeed. Raid Castle Templehof. The motherland is in need of wealth. Take what we need and leave our enemies weak. 1600 treasury and 800 if we do it within 6 turns. Mishka is now a newly trained Ice Witch, which is awesome.
Hag Witch.
Keep you moving.
Stacks.
Looks as though Zatan has claimed everything here in the north. Is the village still out and kicking?
The Ungol Ergeson.
We'll find out in a moment. Also, we'll come on in here and do then. We've got the Heroin Coil, which kind of drops out a bunch of shadowy wispies to slow them down. We've got Inverses, which as long as they have 50% more health, they have weakened stats, but then it will disengage. Weird. I don't like that much at all. Also got the Frost Wyvern's Toil. 48 extra missile block chance, and then 360 missile block. So I think this is a silver shield it would be applying. Speed, weapon strength, and physical resistance is pretty solid. Let's get one of these.
Creepy. The pay.
Deadeye, Sting,
Mere
Snipe, and
blades.
Stalk as long as they're not
But the
moving.
limb is lost.
And then more armor piercing and base missile damage. So you're telling me we can set up a group of stalking little Grom. So we shall. Everything else we'll make is going to be the Unburdened Step. Get a couple of those then. And then the Hushed Cast. Can't really make anything else. Perfect. Scissor of Man. If you yourself want to get in there and min-max exactly what trinkets going where, absolutely do so. It makes the blessings even stronger than they already are. But as you can see, we haven't really needed to do that at all, and it's still been drop-kicking fools into orbit. Extra income from trade is not really what we want. Take the 10% extra research rate. We'll move on through the capital barrack renovations, and then on to the Festival of Urza.
The snows never needed
Gotta make
the
sure the lads have
invention of
proper
fire.
barracks. No mold in Kislev.
Mother Ostankya.
At least no mold without eyes. I'm thinking Kislev Unite is going to be the best way here. Everyone around is going to be much more murdery as time goes on. I'm here for it. I also think we might put you back on a warhorse since the plan is to get rid of all of our Kislevite warriors eventually. Having her on foot allows her to be up in front for the Akshina, but she's slow enough now that she's not able to be a proper defender, so let's get her on a warhorse so we can see her in battle a little bit more often. Thelman has moved on in. Her ambush also did not work out.
Fools.
That's fine. Got lots of enemies nearby, so lots of battles ahead.
Kislev's foes.
Oh, or not.
die.
Don't you crash my game there, sir. We've got plenty more fights ahead.
Steal their futures.
This is a close victory. We're absolutely going to want to fight this one. We've got Festus's palsy, so we're going to be tired of the fight. And have weeping eyes, so our range is cut by 10%. See, now that's unacceptable. You get some curses, unfortunately, as well. We'll go ahead and just drop down the Agony Succession on these champions. You're warriors. Got pretty high melee defense, and then as long as they're fighting infantry, they got 15 extra attack there. That's not bad at all. We'll do Hushed Cast on you. And then we can apply Fragment you to the regenerative fellas. That way they are using up all of their extra healing cap quite quickly. And I'm going to go Whiff of Madness on... Honestly, we've got not a lot else I really want to use. Perhaps an additional weakness to fire on one of these trolls here, and then we'll dive on in from there. Go Unburdened Step on all of our heroes. And now it's time to fight. As far as Norskins go, this is a fairly powerful force. Let's see if we can defeat them without taking too many losses on our side. Strategy being all of our Akshina and then a bit of a defensive bear and warrior force in the woods here to ambush any that are coming around this little bluff here. All three of our big beasties to lure the enemies in and then smash them apart once they get into the water, where they will be slowed down and unable to escape. I've got a couple units of spiders on the wings to chase off their Marauder Horsemasters and any other kind of skirmish cav they might send around, and then the Beowulfs and their other things in the woods on the other flank to also do the same. Let's get it going. Salvo from the Hag Witch who started the battle sends poor Gerald here to the grave. Strategies that I only realized here in post here somehow is that you want to start every fight off here with Ostankya while picking a target for the Spirit Bear and letting that spirit-sized or that bear-shaped newt fly across the field and delete one of the enemy units. Not something we did here, but we'll have to keep in mind for the future. Ostankya and the Golden Knight holding the line together. Claw of Urson active as well, which will be locking everyone in place. Poor Lord on the chariot is having the worst day, being kited around and shot to pieces by our Akshina. Manticore is going to go for it as well. It actually gets a fair bit of damage, but we can heal that up, no problem. As the big horrifying thing in the woods, Wendigoofy smashes on in to annihilate his foes. Here's the claw version, so that is the frozen effect now on the enemies. None of these guys are going to be able to move at all. And your strategy with Naressa is, for the most part, going to be throw her in with as many units as you can with the Claw Burst and activated. That way, no one is able to escape. We've got healing spells blasting through our own lines to try to keep our big beasties in good shape. As the Frostworm wiggles across the ice to annihilate some more Norskins. Our Akshina have been able to fire from the back here the entire time. Like absolute champions. Not too much trouble at all. Hag Witch has been caught, so we're going to send our spiders on out. We can summon in her ethereal things in the woods to try to throw down with those trolls, keep them out of our sides for the moment. The Golden Knight can easily hold the line by herself. We'll let her stay while Ostankya charges around to hand out as much of that Curse of Iran here as possible. Rosa Mark Blender unleashing its balance spell, and it is a horrible, horrible day to be a Norskin. They'll be back. Those that do not fall apart. We've got the good old ice normal bear combo. Backhand a few trolls straight to the Spirit Realm. Your Mordheim Beowulfs, if you have them, are going to be fantastic at just tossing into a troll and then watching that unit cease to regenerate and lose all of its good positive traits it has. Trolls have terrible leadership, so pretty much a hard counter to anything trolly. And we pull off a pretty heavenly sized beatdown on Filman there, which is perfect because now we can continue our rampage completely unabated. We'll go ahead and hand the Vanguard deployment banner over now to the Golden Knight, and we will take the extra... Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to take the extra gold. Replenishment is so negligible.
I cannot kill those with their hands tied.
Especially when it makes us so much gold. So we'll go ahead and allow Kislev to have Weissmund further, although we could probably draw all of these armies in together.
No.
And wipe them all out.
Your soul.
So we move on Weissmund.
Milk.
Sorry, dear Stepan. You should have left while you had the chance. It says it would be a decisive victory. Let's see how decisive you're going to give it to us.
Teach them
Not too bad.
blood and futility.
We'll occupy Weissman. Hopefully now our enemies think it's a nice and juicy target. Student for the ranks, perfect. I will go ahead and check in the Woodsman's Hut once more here, and then we will simply leave the settlement as is. Let them funnel on into their dooms.
Who calls? Just an old woman.
As for you there, Ostankya, we will grab the logistician, grab our extra casualty replenishment rate.
The land's protector.
And then for Talika, I guess we're down to just grabbing what's left.
Say hang at your
First the Ancient Witch here on Gretel, and then Malediction of Madness. As far as the Golden Knight goes, 2 extra skills, sounds fantastic. We'll grab the Loyal Guardian here, and then I'm thinking all lords or heroes in range, giving them a 20% resistance and immunity to flanking. I think that's going to be the best call. So let's go Vigorous Drill and moving on towards Zarina's Guardian. For our other lads and lasses who need skills, let's go ahead and grab Freezing Winds here for this Frost Maiden of Tippus. Give her her passive ability there. Freezing Winds just is going to slow all enemies on the map by 25% for 12 seconds every time she casts a spell. Pretty good one.
I am Kostaltyn.
Orthodoxy in action. 300% construction cost for Hallowed Woods in all provinces. But we will gain... I think that's just fine. We get more income from all buildings faction-wide. A trade-off I'm willing to take.
Betrayers! Betrayers all around!
Madame Novosi will also give you your Freezing Winds and boost income.
Obey!
As far as Nestor goes, let's grab one with Slayak's Lullaby. And we'll double down on there.
For the good.
Give you Ursun's Roar and a point into Replenish Troops. Perfect. Kostaltyn's army is so elite. And we now move on to the Lair of the Troll King, or what's defending? Really, nothing.
Slaughter the sheep.
I think we move on to the Lair of the Troll King.
Orson.
So we're not at war with you. Who came through to attack then? I guess we didn't need to set up into an ambush for Throg since he was never going to come after us. We also go for the Citadel of Prague there. Global recruitment duration dropped by 1 for everything. I mean, that sounds amazing. Up to more leadership while under siege. The Grand Market also calls my name here, so let's come on in and grab that. And then we'll go for one of our growth buildings here. Start moving Prague along up to the next tier. Eringrad, thankfully, is already at tier 4. We'll grab the clay pit in here. Or actually, take it back. We were moving in to get the Linsk Bridge. Connecting the north and south districts of the High City is surprisingly the only bridge within the walls to cross the mighty River Linsk. But unfortunately, the River Linsk is outside the walls, so we will ignore that entirely. Perfect.
Drużyna.
Surprising here that Aldebaran thinks he can take down Wolfenburg now. Should just be able to claim some free gold here for this one. Oh, Pyrrhic victory? Not bad. A wall of spearmen, not bad.
Motherland never falters.
So many slain for no reason. We'll take the gold.
We do not want your pity.
Hell? You weren't gonna get it.
As is my right.
You lost your lands, you can only earn them back when you deserve them.
If it honors
Baron is trying
us.
to retreat or move towards Krugenheim for an attack. Well, we will take Appleberg
Cut
here.
them down!
Claim ourselves some more timber.
To battle!
Easy win and more land for
Worthy
Kislev.
addition to my holdings.
Your holdings. I smell the inklings of rebellion about you there, Kevin.
Drużyna.
Watch yourself there. Let's grab Rustworks and Telheim, so we don't lose our gains in the Empire. We should probably have Kostaltyn
I am truth.
circle back around. There's not very many here in the Tower of Crack, but the defenders of the garrison themselves are quite terrifying.
Only I. Brave
So let's go
truth.
march back to Zoishank.
March. March.
I think we'll end up giving him one of the other surviving ROR units too.
Repel chaos.
Gosh, his Hearthblaze would be awesome. And we could use them to hold the line with anyone that manages to close the gap on the Streltsy.
Give your life for Kislev.
Walls here in Straghov would not be a bad call. Grab the Trade Quorum first. Walls here in Zoishank. And then I'll get an additional farm here. Sounds good.
Drużyna ready.
Points for Kevin. We've already got stand your ground. Let's come on back down, grab the secondary point into a Deadeye there. And reload time reduction is quite nice, increasing his missile strength up to 647. I believe that's over damage over 10 seconds. So a DPS of 10 seconds, so his reload time is now 6.8. Fantastic.
Champion of Kislev.
Arena. We are going to go ahead and give you the Curse of Iran here. We'll move towards maxing this on out. Pretty nasty debuff if you get it in a good spot. Lucky is just a moving Curse of Iran here, which is just horrifying. Back on Urkul's
Kislev's
side.
warriors.
Got Gator here over in,
You will die
Fort
for
Reaver.
insulting Kislev.
let's just move to take the
The
Ziggurat of
wrath
Dawn.
Kislev.
We'll give this one to the
Feel
auto-resolve.
my wrath.
Blame the settlement itself,
The motherland
and then I'm going to give it over
riders.
to the Jade Court.
Drużyna stand ready.
We'll hold the line outside. Looks like some Balbe is going after either Sildorator or Iron Spike. We need to see if we can hold the line. That'd be a tough one. We have our blessings and curses though, so hopefully we can use those to annihilate. Know where we can build for this turn though. Unless we can give you Speaks to the Forest, Veneration of the Bear, or Servant of the Tsar. Since you were rolling with Boris in our now lost cinematic campaign, let's go ahead and make you the Servant of the Tsar. In remembrance of your previous service.
I accept this tribute.
Indeed.
Of Kislev.
We've got also this Kislevite Patriarch running on around. Well, we could have you come and join up with one of our other armies in here, or we could just have you scout.
Or face the flail.
Ace the Flail. Auckland is about to rebel. Luckily, no military buildings here, so it shouldn't be anything too dangerous. Especially if it's just a bunch of Imperial Spearmen. Alright, we'll do one last look at our diplomacy screen here. We are deteriorating a little bit with the ice court, but that shouldn't be a big deal. Our large jump in strength rate has now made us a prime target for trading.
The forces of Nangao cannot all abandon their posts, but will assist you where possible.
Love to hear it.
Acceptable.
So we can grab a trade agreement also with the western provinces, who are down to one settlement. What is happening in Cathay?
Continue working with me.
I'm not going to take any gold from you because you seem to be having a bad
Heaven
day.
For you bargain well.
Indeed.
We are.
That's all of the new friends we can make for now. Ooh, he doesn't want a defensive alliance, but he wants a military alliance.
Greetings. You no doubt have a request. I'll hear it now.
I'd have some slayers in our armies.
Agreed.
We will celebrate by matching blades. Stankya dueling with Ungram. That would be a fight for the ages. Let's see if we can't pop in an outpost here with Karakadrin and Dawi. We actually get one in Karakadrin itself. I'm surprised, but I'll take it. We get all the way up to Iron Drakes, and are there any flame cannons in here? Just the normal ones. We'll get the spicy boys soon. Either way, that's new artillery for the army that we didn't have access to before. Some stuff and a little bit more gold, too. So back in the ancient city of Quintex, we got 2 turns before we can upgrade up to a city. Let's go ahead and try to speed that along with the Gospoda. Fort Strogov, we can upgrade the Orthodoxy Church or more Patriarchs. No, not this time. We'll repair the Ziggurat of Dawn. No, we won't. I'm going to leave this as is. I'm actually going to keep the Ziggurat for ourselves just in case we need to use the port to go after Sambal Bay here. We will see. Right then, Ungram beats the drums of war. He demands we join his war with Drippin' Fangs for 900. Since we are allies, I absolutely will. More greenskins for the pile. They're gonna all attack at the same time. Perfect. Well, they did retrofit their armies a little bit before they came in after us, didn't they? There are so many of them. So we have one looks like a Necroarch vampire and his cronies. We've got the unassailable Heinrich Himmler, who tried to be buddies with us early on. He is scorned after Ostankya turned down his date. We've got also Rudolph, a normal vampire. And with a quick jump cut, we've got all of our blessings and curses applied. We've got Unburdened Step on a couple of our heroes, Bear's Bulwark on Mother Ostankya herself. That way you can smash through lines without getting bogged down, and we can keep applying that Curse for Ron here effect to as many of these units as possible. We've got the Emperor Dread on our Bears for extra fire attack and melee attack. And we'll be putting Whiff of Madness and Entropus for Agony Succession on as many of the important targets as we can. Touch Cast on this Necromancer, Whiff of Madness on, like I said, all of the heroes we can. Final Fragmenty on this first Lord, that way he falls quickly. Get that nice leadership drop. And we should get to this battle in the next episode. For now, I'm out of time for today. I have been Space Wizard Total War. Thank you all so much for stopping by today's Mother Ostankya episode. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like for the like god and a sub for the sub on. I'll see you on the next one.